Peace and blessings. Good morning, my Afrocentric home decor and style channel. This is Lisa Marie Goodson. So, yes, I'm up. I was inspired. And I was thinking about this idea of how to create an Afrocentric coffee table decor. I know yesterday I talked about how to create a sacred space, but I wanted to then go back into the spaces and be specific about different things because the question is, first of all, do you even want a coffee table in your space? Now, for me, and this is what first thing you have to decide in your living room, what is the setup of your living room? Hey, precious, what is the setup of your living room? In other words, what do you want to promote? Do you want to promote like conversation and people around and that idea of togetherness? So then, if that's the case, you might want to have that table in the center so that you're actually promoting that. Of course, it's going to depend on too, setting up your seats so that there's enough seating and that the seating is all the way around, right? Here's seating, if you notice, right? With the exception of this area, we have seating all the way there, that only I sit there though, there. So it makes, so what's going to be in the center to anchor my guests, because I want guests over, is going to be the coffee table, right? So for me, the other thing is two things. Should you do a round coffee table or should you do a square or a rectangular coffee table? It depends on the space to me. I used to have this thing, and it was that feng shui, the Asian, this Chinese art of placement, that kind of talked about the idea of having rounded tables because that brought more of a communal feel, and that having kind of sharp edges kind of cuts off things. And I have to say that this time when I was here, I wanted this size table. I wanted the two-tier table. So the coffee table to me was important, but I actually wanted this shape. I felt like this room dictated this shape. Good morning, everyone. That this room dictated this shape. And so let me tell you about first the idea of choosing your coffee table, since we're still on that. So you have to decide, do you want a round coffee table? I had a round one in the last place and it worked, but it's funny. I want to look for a round table at all costs, to the point that I picked out a table that I really visually didn't love. To me, it was round. And so sometimes if you're looking for something you're so stuck on, it has to be round, you're going to get anything. You don't want that. I say you got to say, I want to be in love with the coffee table. If you're deciding to get one, I want to be in love with the coffee table. Good morning. That's what I want to be. And so when I saw this on Amazon, I was getting my wish list together and I saw this on Amazon. I knew I had to have it. I knew it was going to be great for the space. And I knew I wanted a coffee table because for me, I'm not having a formal dining room. I noticed that in my last place that I mostly ate around the coffee table. I used the coffee table to hold my plate of food or my tea. So when you think about it, the coffee table has the ability to be a dinner table, a brunch table, a snack table, a tea table, a writing in your journal table. It's a big investment in that it is going to yield you multiple purposes. So think about that for real and you'll get it. Hey, Nefertiti, yes, to you too. And you'll really understand why I'm talking about this and what I'm doing. So for me, my coffee table, why did I want a coffee table? Because there's a such thing, right? We call them coffee table books. I knew that I had these African design books that I knew I already had, and I knew that I wanted them to be displayed. That was so important to me that I was actually getting the table in a lot of ways to display the books, and hopefully that people would actually want to look at them. And so another thing was important that it had two tiers because I knew that I had some of the heavier books I wanted to have on the bottom. That was number one. And I'm just letting you know because I know picking out the perfect coffee table, it's a thing. Like people talk about it, that they've gotten their place furnished, but they didn't quite find the coffee table. And so now we're talking about Afrocentric coffee table. Let's make this know what we're talking about here. What is that now? Now you want this coffee table, but you want this Afrocentric theme. I think wood is Afrocentric. I feel like when I bring in the wood elements, I am bringing in the Afrocentricity. And I wanted, when I saw this slightly rustic, kind of, just that rustic, that brown, like I just knew that this was the one for me. So it ticked all the boxes. It had the two levels because I wanted them for coffee table books. It had that I could see underneath without having the glass. I didn't want the glass anymore. Matter of fact, that glass broke. So watch your glass tables and put in a lot of stuff on it because they will break. Yes, hey, good morning. I'm gonna come to all of your comments, so keep making them, y'all. I love to see them. And so, yeah, the last time, just another warning, if you get a glass coffee table, just be careful of how much stuff you're putting on it because it can, falter underneath all the pressure. So I wanted something sturdy. That was the other thing because I learned that from the last one, that it had to be sturdy. And I wanted it relatively kind of big. I wanted it enough that, put stuff on. Now, listen, you could have a coffee table where you want very little. I'm realizing that I have my maximalism part of myself. So in other words, I want a coffee table that can actually sustain and hold everything that I had. And so length was important to me. What I love about this one is I love that the top is long, but the bottom is shorter. So when I knew I was getting the coffee table, because Jacqueline here went to the Amazon wish list and said, what do you want, the privacy screen or the coffee table? I was like, girl, I'm sitting here with no coffee table. Let's get the coffee table. So when I knew she was buying it, this is when I chose the rug. This is all about the coffee table, so everything on it is about the coffee table, right? Yes, Belinda, thank you. I love that. And so I knew the coffee table because I picked it out on Amazon. I knew what it was going to look like. It looked better even when I got it. So that's always a plus when it's better than you thought it would be, right? So I went to Ross and I was like, I'm looking for a area rug or accent rug to put under the coffee table. So the next question is, do you want to put I'm going to answer that too, Living. Do you want to put a rug under your coffee table? If so, start thinking about it. So you picked out the coffee table. I knew that the rug would be square. I think this rug is so perfect. So before I got the coffee table, I bought the rug. I was lucky that it worked out. I visualized, I saw it. And like I said, I was inspired by one of my students in my course, my online course about how to create a sacred space. She has a lot of animal print and leopard. And for me, look at me, even my robe right now is animal print. But I had this actually before the course. But I'm telling you this is that my husband did not like animal print. He didn't like even animal symbolism of statues in the house because he felt like that's what white folks thought of Africa. And he didn't want to have that in his house of people thinking of Africa. So sometimes we're trying to go against something that is not good, like not loving cotton when the cotton itself didn't really do anything, that we go so far we eliminate beautiful elements of Africa. And the animals are an element, specific animals are an element of Africa. So I knew I wanted to bring that in, and I loved the way it worked, and my books just worked out. And these were all the books. For another thing I did, because I wanted a coffee table for my coffee table books, I got rid of books like novels and all the stuff that I've read 1,000 times or will never, ever read again, So I had already downsized. So I knew that I was left with the books that I wanted to be on a coffee table. And I also knew, and I'll move this, and I also knew that I wanted to add. So I'm just telling you about how to plan it out because I think it's important. I knew that I wanted to add some specific books. They were already on my Amazon wish list, and it was this book here called The New Bohemian. I knew that I needed to add that book by the sister Justina Blakely. You hear me mention her a lot. She is a biracial sister. She identifies as such. She's originally from Berkeley, California, which is kind of my hometown, Oakland next door. Was always in Berkeley, but now she's out of LA, so she's still in California, and she just has she has an incredible, you know me, keep the fire burning. She has an incredible sense of style. So this is her book. It's called The New Bohemians, Cool and Collected Homes, Justina Blakely, and it is powerful. I have her other one that both were Amazon wishlist gifts, and I'm so excited. Okay, so now the next question is, how are you using your coffee table? What is the function? This is very important to me. I had this in mind. When I wake up in the morning, like it says cold these days. So I will make me some oatmeal and I will make me some tea. I take my teacup. These are I got these from At Home a year ago, and they are mudcloth inspired or mudcloth printed coasters, which gorgeous. I think they're right there. They were $6.99. They were worth all of the $7. If anything, I wish I had bought. Oh, it went out of focus. Okay, I wish I had bought two more, but I didn't because I was thinking $7. That's a lot, but it was worth it. So I wanted to be able to have a place to put my tea every morning because that's what my coffee table is about for me. And also, I noticed that and sometimes I use the other coaster to put a bowl if I want to put it down. But mostly I'm holding the bowl in my hand. So I create a space for the life that I know that I'm living. So items. I burn the chirai so much that I had to say, why don't you just get something that will hold? Chirai is Senegalese incense, by the way. Why don't you just get something that would actually hold the chirai? And I already had this. I got it secondhand. So I knew that was going to be important to me. Colors. The books themselves are Afrocentric because this is the spirit of African design. So it's already African, really African-centered. This one is called Fashion Africa, already Afrocentric. This is the New Bohemian, so to me already Afrocentric. I added this. This was a gift from my friend Maliki Grant, so I just like the way that looks. Again, the books are already Afrocentric. We talk about Afrocentricing your coffee table. And really, I can trade. I can take the one on the bottom, African style, and I can actually change them and switch them around so that different books show. Let's go to this because, okay, that's no problem. Let's go to this because this is next. When I saw these candles, to me, I don't know, for anybody, thumbs up if you just really love candles. And candle holders. I love candle holders. I love pretty ones. In the beginning, I was buying all these, I say generic candle holders from Dollar Tree, just those basic glass. And I thought, that's not really me. I'm not actually, like even with the glass coffee table, I'm not really a glass per se person. That's not my thing. You know how that's some people's thing, and that's fine, like glass and mirror. That's not really me. I like warmth. And I thought about that. So when I saw these I'll be selling these on my Afrocentric boutique, in my boutique online. When I saw these, I said, oh my God, yes. That is me. I mean, it's from an African store. The colors, the style, the movement of the candlesticks. Oh my God, OMG, I knew it was for me, and I wound up getting two. So that set it off. Another thing too is I believe that like a table like kind of should have an anchor or maybe several anchors if you think about it. And I knew that I needed a clock in here. Now, like I said, the clock hands doesn't work, so either I'm going to get the hands repaired or this is just going to be a clock for show because I'd seen it a month ago and wanted it. So when I purchased it, I knew it was for that. We put the battery in the store and we saw the second hand going, which is still going, so we assumed that it worked. But anyway, no problem. Love that. That is my centerpiece in a way. That's bringing everything together, the Senegalese clock. But to me, what's important is definitely height. If everything is flat, it's just a one note, and that don't feel good. You don't feel inspired. You don't feel happy when you wake up and walk into your living room and there's your coffee table. And I wanted to feel that's inspired. So levels to me are so important. So I like that this is a little higher than these things. And this is my candle holder. It's actually original. It's by my girl Sharon Dubois. She made it for me. The books, the place or the coasters on one level, the books on a higher level, the little shaker-raggy thing on another level, and the candlesticks brings the eye up to a whole nother level. I love that. But there's more. I bought this vase from a consignment store. This vase to me, it is so funky. I love it. And I thought, perfect place to bring the eye up to that cotton. And this one actually is a glass vase that, guess what? Not in love with. It's actually, it's Warren's. I better get that back to him. It's his vase. And I realized that that's fine for now, but I'm not keeping it. So I also want to show you things that I just said glass is not my forte, but if it's yours, do it and do it in your way and do it beautifully. I would probably not have this. I don't know the piece yet, but it will come. I would probably have something more natural, and I'll show you it in another room. I do actually know, and actually I'm gonna think about going to get a different vase. But that's not really my glass. That's not my style. Just so you can see, but that is. And then this I got from Burlington Coat Factory. It's just so, look at this flat kind of, that vase is beautiful. And of course, also, the big part to me about what makes a coffee table, to me, is bringing in freshness. So I think that the cotton has that fresh element, but the flowers, nothing like it. You can change it. You can change the color.